So I maybe just brought the most unnecessary thing that I've ever got myself in my entire life. It's a laser engraver. Let's go take a look. Well, I got myself a Glowforge Aura, and as you can see here, it has open with care because once you open this, you cannot return to the store anymore. You can only return to the manufacturer. Let's go ahead and open it up. I had a little trepidation going through and opening this because, yeah, it's a $1,200 machine that if you open it, you can't turn back to the store anymore for whatever reason. Well, let's go ahead and take a look. Setting it up and getting it disassembled and set up is really easy. It's really well packaged and has a little intro card that's taped on, some nice solid foam that you have to get out of the way. And you really want to make sure you hold on to all this stuff because if there is a problem with the machine, it requires that you ship it back in all the original packaging, otherwise they're not going to service you, which is one of the downsides and one of the things I kind of was not thrilled about when I got this machine. So there it is. It's not all that big. It's very light. It's a nice machine, and there's a little lid that can open up, and there's boxes inside. That front box there that I'm taking out right now, that not only has the air hose, inside the air hose is actually the power cord for the machine as well. In the back there's another set of boxes and that holds the laser head itself. Just be super careful taking this out. There is a ribbon cable attached, which I'll show you in a second. And you just want to make sure you don't rip that off because if you rip that off, you destroyed your machine, which is why I think they probably have that on there because I think most people who hurt this machine who rip that thing off within the first 30 seconds of owning it. Now, so you can see here, there's a ribbon cable in the back that goes through that very little thing of foam and you need to make sure it gets out of there without any problems. All you need to do is remove the packaging. It's not a big deal, just be careful with that ribbon cable as we made mention of, and then it's magnetic and it's going to fit into that little black square sitting in the middle of those rails. Just make sure the Glowforge logo is facing you and you'll be in good shape. Then we need to remove those little foam blocks stopping the gantry system from moving, which is really easy to do. And then the thing that you have to do is make sure it is calibrated. So you just slide it all the way to the front and then all the way to the back and it's fully calibrated, ready to go. In the bottom of the package, there's also a box that contains some test material. This is a little 12 by 12 sheet of basswood, which is where you're going to do some cutting. And then you have your what they call a cookie tray. Basically, when you cut stuff out, some of the things fall down. This catches them or lets them pass through without causing any problems. But that's the extent of this machine and getting it set up. So lasers can put off all kinds of nasty things, so there's a hose to exhaust out the nasty stuff to the outside. I 3D printed a little adapter so I can get it outside of my house, and you'll see me building it here. The basic idea here is I took a piece of 3/4 inch plywood and used my 3D printed adapter and basically traced out a hole of where it was going to go, and then I can cut out the hole and I have an adapter that will fit into the window vent in my basement and it can vent everything to the outside with still keeping a barrier between the house and the outside itself. Now, I'm using an undersized hole saw here because I couldn't find A, my bigger hole saw, or 2, I couldn't find my jigsaw blade, so I'm just going to cut a couple of holes into this thing. I'll go back and clean it up later, it's not a big deal, but to get it up and running, I just wanted to make sure that everything's functioning, and I was able to put 3 holes in there without sacrificing my fingers or anything like that, and I'll go back and clean that up later. And then it's pretty much as simple as just going in and screwing this thing into place. It's nothing big deal, but this is again all prep work in order to use this machine because I don't want it venting any gases into my house. And this is what it looks like in my window. I still have some trim work to do and a little bit of kind of gusset or foam stuff to put on the outside just to make sure I have a nice seal. But for right now, it's fine. After we have that printed and ready to go and installed, we'll just hook up the hose to the back of the machine and then we'll attach the other end of the hose to the part that I just made and we're ready for our first laser cut. Now, this entire machine is controlled through the internet, which is annoying, but it's fine. It's one of the downsides I knew going in, but for plug and play, not a big deal. Basically, the first print you're going to do uses a piece of paper and you're going to make a box out of it. It takes about 15 minutes or so to cut, and it makes lots of fun smells and all that, but it's nothing big deal. But when you're getting set up, it's going to kind of hone itself and get all set up. Just let it do its thing, and then you're going to be looking for a button blinking in that teal button. That's how you know you're ready to start. Once you hit that, it will go ahead and begin. Here we go. And the machine will warm up and do its thing, and you'll see the results of it in just a moment here. And this is probably about, I don't know, a third of the way through the cut doing its thing, but you can see it's really fun to just watch and let it do its thing. It's very, very enjoyable to watch and listen to. And this is what I got for my first print. Again, this is a file that instructions say to print. You can see all the little cutouts that are left over in the bottom there that did not get hooked up by the cookie tray. And you don't need to pick this whole tray up when you're taking stuff out. I just did because I can't get my fingers in there to get the paper off. But you can see it does an awesome job and leaves a lot of scrap. And here it is all folded up. It's nothing special, but it's really neat to watch go through and do these fine little intricate cuts and test your folding skills. Just one quick note not to get freaked out about. The ribbon cable on the back is magnetic, so it will come off every so often. You'll hear it and then it will attach back on. It's not a big deal. I'm going to do more videos on this thing in the future, but I need to learn the software better and how it works and all of the things, and then I'll dive into a little bit more. But you can see I'm cutting some Christmas ornaments. I'll talk to you later.